We are going to be talking about MoxiEngage and how to use your sphere of influence for you. We all know that our sphere of influence is very important to be successful in real estate, and Moxie helps us with that. It helps us keep in touch with them. It helps us give them market data that they want. We know that every consumer out there, first thing they ask when they hear you're in real estate is what's going on with the market. So we can really use MoxiEngage to stay in touch with our sphere of influence, tied together with the best data because it's tied to your MLSs. You're not dealing with Zestimates or Zillow or any of those other sites. It's actual accurate data tied to your MLS. So let's go ahead and jump right in. As we know, we start with mycbdesk.com. Once you've logged in using your credentials, you want to click on your MoxiWorks tile. That will launch you into MoxiWorks. And then you go ahead and click Engage in the upper menu bar right here. You'll have some different options here depending on what your security level is, but you do want to go into Engage. It does launch you right into your dashboard. And this is kind of like your one-stop shop to what your day can look like. It gives you 5 people in your sphere to stay in flow with. It lets you add them to neighborhood news, call them, send them a handwritten note, whatever it might be. It does sync to your Google Calendar, so it can keep you super, super organized. It lets you know your activity feed. So as you're setting up some of these campaigns, some of these neighborhood news, it lets you know who's looking at that data. So you know who to call and who to reach out with. Particularly when you're new in the business, you're just not quite sure what to do every day to continue your business to grow and to thrive. Really using the dashboard and MoxiEngage can help you with that. You don't have to try to figure out who you should call that day. As you utilize the system's going to let you know who you should reach out to. So it can be very user-friendly, keep you organized, and let you connect with your sphere of influence. You can also use a to-do list here if you want. It tracks who's in your sales flow, which is very important. And as you have your goals in here, it'll track your goals for you. So lots of good information found in the dashboard. What we're going to talk about today is how to first organize your sphere of influence. We do know that MoxiEngage syncs to your email addresses. So as you have contacts added to your Google contacts, it will put them right over into MoxiEngage. As you set up campaigns and listings to leads, it'll grow your MoxiEngage contact list. As you have leads come in through Leads Engine, those now all land in MoxiEngage as well. So we have lots of different sphere of influence people coming from lots of different venues, and we want to make sure that we keep them organized. Moxie helps you do this. So in order to get to the wizard, you want to click on People and My People. And that's going to take you right into your contact list. Now you can see, depending on how many people that you have put in here, either via the sync with your email address or via entering them directly into Moxie, either with an upload of multiple contacts, which you can do, or maybe you've added them individually. Maybe you sat at an open house on Sunday, you had 6 more people come in, so you wanted to add them to Moxie. Not really worth an upload at that point, but you can quickly add them individually. So just depending on how many people you've had put into your MoxiEngage, you'll see that number right here. But what we're going to do to show you how to quickly organize them is go into the Categorize wizard right here in the upper right corner. This will pull in any of your clients that you have added to MoxiEngage from any which way of those venues, but they haven't been categorized yet. So we don't know if they're client or non-client. And you can see right here on this landing page, it will show you all of those. Now you'll notice that most of mine are just testing. It's either spam from listings to leads, or it's something that we've done through testing. So ignore the fact that there's names like test and test demo. The entire process is exactly the same. So for example, this was added through a listings to leads contact 5 days ago. If it's a client or a non-client, you have options. So let's talk about clients first, because that's probably where we're going to be making money in the near future. So if you categorize it as client, you then have the other options. You can qualify the lead. You can automatically make them a seller prospect. Maybe you did meet them at an open house and they're like, hey, I really want to get my house on the market. Automatically a seller prospect, right? Or maybe it's a buyer prospect. Hey, we've been living in an apartment. We really like this open house. It's not quite in our budget, but we really want to buy. Automatically a buyer prospect. If you click on qualify this lead, it gives you other opportunities. So maybe they're a recent past buyer or past seller. Maybe they were both. or maybe they weren't any of those, but they're still going to be a client, you can click none of these. They will stay in as a client, but it won't automatically put it on a marketing plan. So it can be a really good place to enter a sphere of influence person if they're not quite in the sales flow yet, or they weren't previously in the sales flow, so they're not a past client. So you do have the option to mark as none of these. If you mark none of these, you can create a plan right here. You don't have to pick one of the pre-set up plans, which I'll show you in a moment. So you do have the opportunity to use the system outside of the preset marketing plans. A lot of agents will be like, well, gosh, they're not really a client, but they're not a client. I just don't know what to do with them. That's the option that you would pick for that. I'm going to go ahead and just jump to the next one. So that was client. We did qualify this lead, but keep in mind, you can automatically set them there as well. If it's a non-client, maybe it's your title person, maybe it's your mortgage person, maybe it's your child's teacher. They may buy a house one day. You don't not want to send them information, but they're not necessarily a client right now. So they don't fit in your sales flow right now. You can mark them as a non-client. From here, you have two options: personal, which would be your child's teacher, or collaborator, which would be the title company, your mortgage company, maybe your dentist. I'm not real sure how you want to mark that. You also have the opportunity to remove from Engage, because we all know that some of those leads coming through Leads Engine just aren't leads. They're spam. We know it. We try to block them as much as we can, but they do get through. So if it's absolutely a spam, go ahead and remove from Engage. You do have that opportunity right on this screen. Of course, it's like, are you sure? Do you really want to do that? And yeah, absolutely, you can remove them there. So again, just two questions: client, non-client. If it's a client, do you want to qualify the lead or automatically put them on buyer prospect, seller prospect? You have that opportunity right from here. It went ahead and moved it to the prospect zone. So you can see, you can quickly go through and it will let you show me more depending on how many you don't have categorized yet. And it'll let you quickly go through and mark those in your sales flow. Now you can always do this from your people page as well. This is just the wizard. This is help to expedite that. This is to sit down with a glass of wine one night and throw on the news and go through these and categorize them. Because as you get the information into MoxiEngage, that's when it's really going to start helping you with your business, helping you stay in flow with your sphere of influence. So keep in mind, from here, we clicked on the Categorize wizard. That took us to that landing page. But if you're in any of your clients here, if you click on their name, you have that opportunity here. So if they're not in a category yet, you can do it from the wizard, but you can also do it per individual client as well. So from here, maybe you're like, yep, they're absolutely a client. I want to make them a seller prospect. You can click on there. It's going to go ahead and put them into that marketing plan that was predisposed in the system, which I'll show you in a second how you can update for yourself. So from here, say you want to make the seller prospect. It's going to go ahead and add that marketing plan to this client so that you can stay in touch with this person. So you can see these are all the tasks that will now show up because that was what was already added in your template that came across from Moxie. You can change it though. You can change it individually. You can click done or edit. You can do more if you want. You can add tasks if you want. So even though it pulls in that template, you don't necessarily have to keep those tasks per individual client. So I'm going to go ahead and show you more. You can delegate it to somebody else. Maybe you're working with a team. Maybe you have an assistant. You can add it to your calendar so you have it more readily available to see when you need to do that task, or you can just go ahead and delete that task. Lots of options here. So if you're like, boy, I like those tasks, but I really do this instead of that first, or I don't do that, or I do this instead, you can actually change the template for your MoxiEngage so that you're not having to make those changes on every single person that you put in the category of seller. You can go ahead and change your template for that. So we're still in Engage and we're still in people. And from here, to change that template, you want to click on the little cog right here. And it picked up the email. Sometimes I do that. When I click on the email box, I think I'm clicking on the cog. We're going to try that again. Click on the cog. Go to Engage settings. Once that loads here, you want to click on the option of Task Manager, and you'll see your marketing plans are here. You have your leads marketing plan, your marketing plan, buyer plan, and seller plan. So I had added a seller plan to that last customer, but it's just not the way I do things. It's got extra tasks, or I want to add tasks. You can go ahead and customize that. You can delete certain tasks. You can add certain tasks. This is the template. This is not per client. So you're changing your template now. So every time you go through that wizard and you mark them as a seller prospect, this is the task list that's going to be attached to them. It'll help you stay in touch with this client. It'll help you make sure that you're not missing point of contacts with them. Plus, you'll be able to go through the system and see exactly where they're at in that sales flow. So again, we know these templates are in here. If you're newer to the business, may try them out. You'll very quickly be able to tell if it's just not the way that you operate, and then you'll be able to make the system work for you by changing that template. So once you have all of the changes, you've added them, you've changed them, you've changed the dates, you deleted some, you've added some, just click save. And then that will now be your template. So moving forward, anybody that you put that marketing plan on will have your new template because you've updated that. Now keep in mind that's in the cog here in Engage settings under the task manager. And you have under task manager, try that again. And then you have the option to customize all of these plans so that when you are going through and organizing your MoxiEngage, you actually have the plan that you want to see fit that works with your sales flow. So again, we were in people, my people. The first place we went was the Categorize wizard. And that's what's going to allow you to mark as client or non-client. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people are like, man, that's just spam. I added them as a contact to my Gmail. I didn't know they were going to come across. You can go ahead and remove from Engage if you would like. You also have the opportunity that if you accidentally remove somebody and you really do want them in your sphere so that you can engage with them and market to them, you can come into here. I'm sorry, we have to do that from the My Overview page. We're going to go to People Overview. Click the cog, and I've now lost it. There is an opportunity to manage removed. So let me go back right quick and see if I can find that option. So long story short, if you do accidentally remove a client, you can get it back. So from the main people page, go back to your cog and manage removed. That will let you restore them. So if you do accidentally delete a client because you're getting super honed in on your sphere, you're getting your MoxiEngage super cleaned up so that you can start using the product better, and you accidentally delete them, you can bring them back. So do know that there's a lot of different ways you can use this product. It's very hard to break it. So just jump in and start getting these things added. Once you have them in the category, you can go ahead and filter things like groups. You can filter them by sales flow. So maybe you want to know everybody that you have as a new seller prospect and they're in stage 1 of the sales flow. You can filter for your sphere of influence that way, because maybe today you got a brand new listing on the market, or maybe your coworker had it on the market, and you can go ahead and be like, okay, I want to call everybody that's a new buyer. I got a great new listing. I want to call everybody that's a new buyer. You can go in and filter this, pull in all your new buyers, and then you'll have the list. You can email them, you can call them. Maybe you're working with Coast One Mortgage and they have a great new product for first-time home buyers, and you want to go through and find everybody in your sphere of influence that has that status. You can use the system that way. There's a lot of different ways, as long as you stay organized. And again, with the wizard, the system makes it easy to stay organized. You can really start utilizing MoxiEngage to stay in contact with your sphere of influence. So what questions do you guys have for me today? Well, I don't see any that have come up yet. Of course, as you get into the system, it is technology, right? Sometimes it glitches. Don't hesitate to reach out with questions. But keep in mind, because of the sync with your Gmail contact card, whether that's gmail.com or CB Great Lakes or CB Sunstar, it is syncing over from your contacts, and now Leads Engine, which replaced that, Leads Engine now sends your leads to MoxiEngage. So we do want to make sure that we jump in there and keep it super organized so that we can really use the system to work for us. So
I do have a question. This is Casey Marietta.
Yes, go ahead.
Are these recorded so I can look back at other like previous sessions?
Absolutely. If you go over to Schmidt Video Classroom, which is also linked through Schmidt resources, there is we'll find it here. There is a MoxiMonday playlist. So all of our MoxiMondays have been recorded, and you'll be able to go through and see all the topics. They're dated, so you'll know how old that content is, but we do have all of the recordings right there. So it's Schmidt Video Classroom, MoxiMonday playlist.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, to that end, while we wait, if there's any more questions, if you go to Schmidt Resources, into your region, into your technology square, into MoxiWorks, that is linked through right here. We have had to put a few sessions in Vimeo because YouTube likes to block any recordings that have client contact information in them, which is important, right? We're all about security and privacy. So as opposed to going to Schmidt Video Classroom, if you go to Schmidt Resources, in the Moxie Square, you'll find links for both of those playlists as well. All right, great. Well, thanks so much for your time today, guys. Truly appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye now.